Hello and welcome back to our local to global series here as we play as the Random Wrestling Revue on TEW2020. We are in February 1998 now and just about to take in our next show, which is going to be interesting. It's going to be RWR's Fighting Spirit 1, the first event in what we hope will become an annual tradition in the company. And uh, we need to kind of populate it with some bigger matches, and hopefully that's what we will be able to do today. So starting off, we have got a number of matches we want to book here today. First of all, let's start with the opener. Charlie Haas is going to be taking on C.W. Anderson. They've had a match before. I think this was they had a match. Their first singles match was against one another. The second anniversary of last year. With this one, I'm going to go to a 15-minute time limit draw between these two. That's how we're going to do it. Might make this a slow build, even though it's only 15 minutes, because I don't want them to go mad here. This is just about kind of setting the tone with a decent match to start things off. And yeah, I'm happy for this one to end in a draw because I didn't, to be honest, part of it was I didn't know who I wanted to win. And so I think what we'll do as well, we're going to create a storyline here. Why not? Let's have a thing where these two kind of locked in, unable to beat the other or something. I don't remember who won their first match against each other. It was C.W. Anderson. This time they're just going to draw, and that's fine. No problem at all. The other thing I'm going to do is I am going to end this one. I set it up originally as a little breadcrumb of something I might do. I've decided now that I'm not interested in pursuing it. I actually have other things that I'm kind of more interested in. One of those being the storyline that's going to come out of the next match. So I think it's a good time for me to look at the rankings here because I haven't shown them today, and a lot of the matches I've got based on the rankings. So these are the rankings right now. Obviously, we know the main event today is going to be Blitzkrieg versus Dave Batista. Dave Batista, the number one contender, and they signed the contract and did the contract signing on the previous show. We also now have ECMO and Buddy Wayne on 4 points apiece. Now they're both baby faces, but we're going to have them face each other. So that's kind of been determined by the rankings that they're going to face each other tonight. We've got the four-way tag team match that will be for the new tag team titles, which I've yet to set up in the game, so I'll have to make sure I do that as well. And then in addition to that, the only two wrestlers I haven't spoken about are Kid Chaos and James Storm, both of whom are heels, and they will face each other as well, again, due to them being down here in the rankings, 13th and 14th. So that is the next match we've got. It's James Storm versus Kid Chaos, but in this one, we are going to have Kid Chaos win. So this is heel versus heel. It's going to be a flash pinfall finish. In fact, it's not even going to be an open match. I think I'm going to have James Storm dominate. But Kid Chaos is going to win with a quick, clean flash pinfall. And this is going to create a new story, which is James Storm against Kid Cash. And this is just to put, really, the reason I'm doing this is to put James Storm in a little bit of a holding pattern because I had the thing where he kind of told Kid Cash, what am I doing? Kid Chaos. I had the thing where James Storm told Blitzkrieg that he was lucky to beat him, and the next time they face each other, he won't be so lucky. And I can still draw upon that in the future, but I'm just not ready for James Storm to be in a match with Blitzkrieg at this point, and so this feels like a good thing to do. We're gonna make it 7 minutes, and James Storm is going to lose. Then after this match, James Storm's just going to attack Kid Chaos. No one's going to come to his aid because obviously Kid Chaos has been a heel throughout this time. James Storm attacks Kid Chaos in frustration at the loss. So he's going to put him down. I think we'll make it 5 minutes. It's going to be a reasonably bad beatdown for Kid Chaos. What we're also going to do is we're going to set Kid Chaos on a road to turn. So yeah, he's going to be set to turn, but I'm not going to turn him in the with the attack. So this goes back to one of my philosophies about people turning babyface. Like you can't turn them babyface if they don't do something themselves that makes them babyface. So what I mean by that is that just because a heel gets attacked by another heel doesn't make them a babyface. Like they have to do something themselves that they initiated in order for it to be for them to turn babyface or for them to warrant being cheered by the crowd. Just makes sense to me this way round. Now, the next match we're going to have is the other singles match I talked about, which is Buddy Wayne versus ECMO. These two both have 4 wins. So this is a pretty important match. I'm going to go 13 minutes with this one, and we're going to have ECMO get the victory via pinfall, I think. Is it via pinfall I want this to happen? Yeah, we'll make this storytelling as well. And then again, after this, we're going to do another angle, and it's going to be just Buddy Wayne. In fact, we're going to have him acting, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but Buddy Wayne is angry with himself following his loss. So again, somebody reacting to their loss, but this time not attacking anyone, not looking to turn heel. I'm just trying to tell the story of Buddy Wayne, who was on a kind of gone through a reset, was trying to focus back on getting to the top, and then loses this match, which would have given him a real opportunity to be in with a shot of the title. Now, I need to add the new titles, obviously, because I haven't done that yet. So, RWR North West tag team titles. Just checking the rest of the details are fine. So Northwest Tag Team is in place. It's vacant at the moment, but it is going to be filled today, where we have 2 versus 2 versus 2 in 2 versus 2 versus 2. We have not got what I want. We've just got hardcore and TLC. Why do we not have just a normal 2 versus 2 versus 2 match? That's just silly. So let me take this one. And just have 2 versus 2 versus 2. I don't know why the database doesn't have a 4-way tag team match. That's very annoying. Match prestige is just average. I don't see there being any reason why it needs to be high. One fall, injury risk is low, content risk is very low. Has name value, no. Save. Okay, so we've got our match now. And it is going to be the Public Enemy, the Bad Crew. It's going to be Sean Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr., and it's going to be Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan. So those are the 4 tag teams in this one. Going to make it 18 minutes. Northwest Tag Team, open match, slow build. Oh, no, I don't want to overbook it. Slow build. Now, I wasn't absolutely sure, and I'm still not absolutely sure. I kind of came to an idea of who I wanted to win, and now I'm kind of going back on it. So originally I was thinking I want Public Enemy to win this, because I think that another thing I quite like when it comes to a new title is to give it to somebody with some name recognition, just to give it a sort of shot or a boost of credibility that, just give it a boost of credibility that, the title means something. But then I was kind of conflicted about it, so I've gone back and forth. I've decided I am going to make it a victory for the Public Enemy. I think Wellington Wilkins Jr. is going to take the pin. Oh, we've already got that one, of course. And pinfall finish is how this one is going to go. So obviously, Dog is not going to manage to go that long, but who cares? And we've still got to book our main event, and we've actually now reached already the amount of time we need for a big show. So that's really good. The main event, of course, is going to be Blitzkrieg versus Dave Batista. This is the big title match main event. I'm going to keep it short. I want to see what this does to the to the rating, because we've seen how longer matches are not really appreciated by my audience. So I just figured, let's see what happens if we just go with a shorter match in the main event. We've got two longer matches, further down the card as well. So I think I'm just trying something here. And yes, I am going to have Dave Batista win this one. He is going to win the match. He's going to do it after some botched interference. Botched interference from ECMO. Is it ECMO who's in a feud with? Yes, ECMO. ECMO. ECMO's been in a feud with Dave Batista for a long time. And Batista is going to win this match. Now, what I was going to do, actually, there is a couple of things I was going to do here. So, ECMO, after his victory earlier in the night, is going to sort of say whoever wins the main event, he's coming out. He's ready to compete for the title. I changed my tone as I was sort of writing that down because I didn't want it to come across as really aggressive. ECMO's a babyface, and I didn't really want him to. I didn't really want him to kind of come across too heelish there because I'm not trying to turn him heel or anything. So ECMO says that whoever wins the main event, he's ready to compete for the title. So this is also after the Buddy Wayne ECMO match, and we're then going to have Batista before the main event talk about ECMO and say Batista says that when he wins tonight, he'll make sure ECMO doesn't get a title shot. So, I mean, look, I don't know how that actually works logically because of the way our ranking system works. Batista's not really got much of a choice in the matter, but I guess he could still, not consent to face him, or he could at least try and put obstacles in his way, like he could delay a title match between the two, and then other people could win matches that would get them to the same amount of points as ECMO, and then Batista could choose to face them instead. So there are ways around just giving the person who is the allocated number one contender a title shot. And the reason I put this in place is I wanted to really justify a little bit logically why ECMO would interfere in the main event, because he's been in a feud with Dave Batista, but I still don't think he would necessarily interfere in this match or want to interfere in this match. So the idea here is that ECMO saying that, look, whoever wins the main event, I'm ready to compete for the title. I'm looking forward to seeing who wins. Batista then retaliating, saying, because he's obviously in a feud with ECMO and doesn't like him, he's saying that, look, when he wins tonight, he'll make sure that ECMO never gets a title shot against him. And so ECMO is almost coming in to interfere because he's angry with what Dave Batista said, and also eager for Batista not to win the title so that he can face Blitzkrieg, who will still be the champion after that point. And obviously, Blitzkrieg then gets beaten when ECMO tries to interfere, but messes it up effectively. And I'm going to add Blitzkrieg to this story. So he's now part of that story as well. And what we're going to do is after the match, Blitzkrieg and ECMO, again, I'm relying on them to act, which I'm not sure I'm comfortable with. But Blitzkrieg angrily admonishes ECMO. And yeah, we're just going to make that a very short last angle. So a really quite in-depth show here today. Like lots of thought. I've had some real thought go into this one this time. I've had a little bit of space to think about. Obviously, we were ready for the show, after the last episode, and then I went away and just thought, right, how's this event gonna sort of unfold? And we made the decision to put the title on Dave Batista. So let's see how our crowd responds to all of that? Well, first of all, it's an equal best for us, 77 people in the crowd. And in the opener, Charlie Haas and CW Anderson go to a 15-minute time limit draw. Segment rating of 18 because the match dragged in the middle with lack of flow being noticeable. Charlie Haas has an in-ring performance of 20 and CW Anderson a 23. Then we had James Storm versus Kid Chaos in a match that was really not good. Segment rating 17. The hints at a Kid Chaos face turn got a poor reaction, as much of the crowd still remember his last turn. I mean, when they say his last turn, what they mean is that he debuted. I don't think I've turned him since he came in, but it's not been that long since he debuted as a heel. So they're not particularly happy with these hints of him becoming a babyface right now. But the point is that Kid Chaos here defeated James Storm in 1750 by pinfall with a roll-up. And this starts the feud between James Storm and Kid Chaos. And after the match, James Storm just lays Kid Chaos out and properly beats them down. Segment ran at 23. The segment meant that the story gained heat, but still the fans not loving the fact that I'm preparing for a Kid Chaos babyface turn. Then we get Buddy Wayne versus ECMO in their match. ECMO wins in 12:39 by pinfall with a wild Samoan drop. And Buddy Wayne did an in-ring performance of 25, ECMO 22, segment rating of 22. Not great. Not terrible, but not great, is what I'd say about that. ECMO's been better in the past, and Buddy Wayne that's kind of his ceiling, I think, a 25-ish type match. And I feel like in some ways we've got Buddy Wayne and we're keeping him around because he's the RWR original, right? Like him and Michael Modest were the two initial characters that we had in the company, and like I don't want to lose Buddy Wayne because he's been there since the start, but he doesn't really feature in my. Well, he does feature in my plans, but he's not a guy that I can see getting back to the top. I might be wrong. I might be wrong in that, but I'm not sure I can see it. Then after the match, following the loss, Buddy Wayne appears to be angry with himself and walks away disappointed. Segment rating of 25 here, not bad. And then after the match as well, ECMO says that whoever wins the main event, whether it be Batista or Blitzkrieg, he's ready to compete for the title against the best in the company. ECMO did a masterful job of improvising with the crowd. As such, it's a surprise that we only got a segment rating of 23 here, but that's what we got. Then we get the four-way dance for the new RWR North West tag team titles. It's a good match. Segment rating of 26. Public Enemy defeat Bad Crew, Sean Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. and Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan. In 1755, Public Enemy win the Northwest tag team titles. As you can see here, Sean Stasiak was the best performer in the match, a 31 for him. Rocco Rocker 30, Johnny Grunge 26. Dog and Rose, their usual low rating selves. Barry Buchanan a 25 and Ace Steel 28. Never expected much from Wellington Wilkins Jr. because he's got no momentum. He loses pretty much all the time, and he was the one who took the pinfall here. Rose and Dog were both off their game in this match as well, which didn't help matters. And the match was a little too long given our audience. So I think the maximum time that our audience can cope with appears to be 15 minutes. And that's fine because actually we can book our matches accordingly in the future. Then before the main event, Dave Batista grabs the microphone and says that when he wins the title tonight against Blitzkrieg, he's going to do everything he can to make sure ECMO doesn't get the title shot that he thinks he deserves. A segment rating here of 33, so Batista was really good, improvised well throughout the segment. Very nice indeed. Then the main event, a 30 rated match. Blitzkrieg a 35, Batista only a 22. But the shorter length of match clearly helped matters here. Batista wins at 11:34 by pinfall following botched interference by ECMO. Dave Batista wins the RWR North West title, becomes the fourth man to hold that belt. And then after the match, Blitzkrieg angrily admonishes ECMO for getting involved and walks off in disgust. A segment rating of 26. And we've now kind of really inserted Blitzkrieg into this feud between ECMO and Dave Batista. And that's the end of the show. An overall rating of 29, so one of our best shows so far. The main event was really decent, as was Batista's sort of angle beforehand. He's looking good, Batista, in terms of certainly in terms of his promo, not necessarily his wrestling, but his promo was really decent. So we're going to make a speech here. I think we have to point Blitzkrieg out as a good example. I'm also going to give some credit to Sean Stasiak. He was the best performer in that tag match. And I think we'll give some credit to Dave Batista. Despite the not brilliant match rating or his in-ring performance anyway during that match. The segment beforehand was decent enough, and he's obviously our new champion, so we want to kind of keep him happy. We've grown a little bit in the Southwest. Our main popularity indicator in the Northwest hasn't gone up, but Southwest is now up to 2, so that's quite nice. And we also wanted to look at finance. So yeah, we're all good. We made a profit of $1,000 last month, as we kind of talked about last time around. Now let's have a look at the titles. So Dave Batista is now the champion. And there's our previous champions, Buddy Wayne, Michael Morris, and Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg had 4 defenses in the end of his title, and that's 1 more than Modest, but obviously 3 less than Buddy Wayne. And then the Northwest Tag Team Champions are the Public Enemy, and that's now actually got more prestige than our main singles title. So that's something to think about as well, as the Public Enemy take those belts. And Top 100s, well, you can see here Fighting Spirit was the second best show that we've ever done. And the main event of that show was the best match we've ever had. So that's a really big thumbs up for Dave Batista. Once again, despite the fact that maybe his in-ring performance wasn't great, he is now the man with the best match in the company history, alongside Blitzkrieg, who is clearly our best in-ring performer, no doubt about it. So let's progress to the end of the current month and go into March 1998. I think we've obviously only not got time for another event, so we'll start to think about what we're going to do in the next show. I do need to change Wellington Wilkins Jr.'s gimmick, because we had a note the last time that his gimmick was getting stale. I've made a note here that I need to change that gimmick. And so I think I'll reveal now what the main event of the next show is going to be. It is going to be Dave Batista versus ECMO, because in spite of all of Batista's warnings, Batista's going to be forced to face ECMO in the next match. So that's interesting, actually. I've just considered that, and I thought maybe I should change my plan for that main event, because again, Batista did say he wouldn't face ECMO, or he would try to do everything he could to not face ECMO. Maybe we run an angle at the beginning of the show, sort of, making that kind of clear that Batista doesn't want to face ECMO. But maybe, I don't know, but Bruce Hart forces him to. He says that, if you don't defend against ECMO, then, you'll have to vacate the title, something like that. I'm also going to have on the show a match I've been planning for a little while, Ace Steel versus Blitzkrieg. So this will be Blitzkrieg's kind of match in return after kind of losing the belt, his sort of first match since that loss. So yeah, I think that's what I've been planning towards. And the rest of it, I don't know yet. The rest of it, I really don't know what's going to happen in the rest of the card. But I do have some plans for kind of not bigger events, but maybe annual events with special or unique competitions. I think we're going to do a Rumble style match in the next. We're going to do a Rumble style match in the next few shows potentially. I've also got an idea for kind of another type of event, which I will talk about when we get to it, I think. But yeah, but the outcome of this show, and I know we've still got 5 minutes or so to cover here, but the outcome of the show is that we have a new champion. It's Dave Batista, the big name in the company, or at least the big name to modern audiences, perhaps not in the in-game audience. But yeah, Batista becomes our new champion. This wasn't really, I didn't really do this because I didn't like what Blitzkrieg had been doing. Actually, it's nothing to do with Blitzkrieg. This was more about, it just felt the right thing for the stories. What have we got here? Shane Helms is now available to work in a new game area. Maybe I have... Yeah, maybe at some point I've shortlisted him. I don't know. Didn't mean to if I did. Super Brawl 8 took place in February. Lex Luger defeated Sting and Randy Savage in a tables match to retain the WCW World Heavyweight title. 89 rated match underneath Hogan versus Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair versus Bobby Eaton. A 91 and a 97. And then a 99 rated match as Arn Anderson and Fatu defeated Brian Pillman and Rey Mysterio Jr. some interesting combinations there. WWE will be coming up to WrestleMania, of course, so we'll obviously try and keep that in mind. Just another checking on the finance. So yeah, you can see finances, we are fine. We are going to look, I think, for somebody new on the roster. I think it's time we updated the roster a little bit. As I've said before, though, that will mean somebody kind of drops out. But I'm thinking maybe Wellington Wilkins Jr. Now, he's been with us for a very long time, in fairness, so I am a little bit reluctant to let him go. But we're at that point for me where not like obviously he's been our sort of jobber throughout the time he's been with us, but he just doesn't like. I feel like there's a time limit on how long you can have a jobber in your company, and yeah, I just don't know where we go with him next, really, and how much more he can lose before it's kind of like this is dull. We've done this so many times now, and do we really need that jobber? I don't know. We've got Kid Chaos, who is potentially with that turn, maybe taking Wilkins Jr.'s place as our main jobber, certainly on the babyface side. And we did something similar with Wilkins as well, where we turned him babyface at a certain point. So I need to figure out what it is. If we're going to bring somebody in, though, I want to make sure we know what it is and why we're bringing them in. It can't just be we want a new body. I want a certain type of worker. I'm just flicking through the list really now, see if there's anything that jumps off the page at me for inspiration. Someone like Greg Valentine would be great, although he is very expensive and would wipe out our our profit immediately if we brought him in. But somebody like that, somebody with a bit of a little bit of a legacy, a little bit of a quality, who's a veteran of the circuit. Have we got too higher on? Yes, we do. Don't know who it's going to be. Lance Storm. Now that might be interesting. Now that could be very interesting. Lance Storm coming in, obviously real quality, a really good wrestler. My only concern again is that we've got a couple of wrestler type wrestlers in Anderson and Charlie Haas at the moment in the company, and Lance Storm is a little bit too similar to that. I'm thinking maybe we want like a luchador or masked wrestler of some kind would be quite good, a sort of flyer, because you don't really have. I guess we got Blitzkrieg, and I guess an opponent for Blitzkrieg that could go in a really decent flying type match would be good. Rob Van Dam's available, 600 per show. We could afford him. We could afford him, so that's somebody to think about. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. Rocky Maivia. Now Rocky Maivia is available. Okay, we may have to sign Rocky Maivia. We may just have to do that. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This is the problem with the game. Sometimes is that the wrestling promotions, the other promotions, they just don't very easily seem to pick up on potential. So obviously, WWE back in 1996 saw Rocky Maivia's potential from the very get go. Like they knew instantly he was going to be a somebody that could be a bankable star. But the game and the AI in the game doesn't do that. So he's just wallowing. He's just languishing in ECWA and BCW on handshake deals. In March of '98, the same month that he wrestled Ken Shamrock for the Intercontinental title in reality. So it will make the. My only concern is it makes the save a little bit less realistic, but realism has never really been the concern for me. So I am very seriously going to consider signing Rocky Maivia. I'll make that decision between now and the next episode because we are just about out of time. Thank you very much for joining me today. Give me a like and a subscribe if you've enjoyed it and if you intend to continue to follow along. That's all we've got time for today. So we'll catch you next time.